Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful, amazing, adventurous planet of ours. This is Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, here for just a quick Facebook Live. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Getting ready for an event tonight. And I thought I would just come online and talk about spirit circles, mediumship, healing. What does it all entail? And I'm going to be going for an event here in just a few hours. So I'm just kind of preparing. Hi, Jane. How are you? Hi, Maury. How are you? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully the sound quality is okay. It's a little windy here. I'm in Spokane, Washington, or the Spokane Valley. And I've got a friend with me, and I'm here just getting ready for my event tonight, which is called Spirit with Spirits, a demonstration in mediumship, or what I like to say is reunions of life after death. And so tonight we're going to be having a small spirit circle with about 20 or so spiritual prospectors that are showing up, people I don't know. Going to have celebrations or reunions of what I call them, from spirit through spirit to spirit for those in attendance, and it's usually a lot of fun. I like the smaller spirit circles that I do. It's more of I can get to most everybody in the circle within the 2-hour allotted time. So we're going to be starting at about 7 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a really fun evening because it's really nice here in Spokane, which is, if you're not familiar with Spokane, Washington, it's the east side of the state, so it's about 5 hours east of Seattle, Washington, where my studio is. And we're going to be outside. And I'm calling it Spirits with Spirits because after the event starts, we'll be serving some glasses of wine, or for those that want to have a drink. It's not a party, but it's celebrating life with a glass of spirits, if that's what you want. And just me going around to everybody in the circle, giving messages of mediumship. Could be also psychic. I usually call out, if it's mediumship or psychic, how I'm working. But a lot of times it's a lot of fun because each person usually gets a personal touch or a personal message from me in these small spirit circles. So if you're just joining me, welcome. I've got a few people tuning in, some of my top fans. Hi, Tamara. Hey, Maury, how are you doing? Texas Medium's in the house. I love it. Yeah, you guys are studying with Tony. I'm so jealous. Tony Stockwell, he's amazing. Hopefully we can sync up and when I'm back on Monday. So if you guys want to do me a favor, if you want to share out, I'm broadcasting from my phone, so I'm kind of limited in what I can and cannot do. And like I said, I hope the sound quality is okay. It's a little windy here, but I do have a windsock on my microphone, so that should be okay with the sound. If you guys could just send me some hearts or likes so I know that the sound quality is not too bad. There's not a lot of wind blowing. And tonight I just wanted to come on before my event tonight and just talk about what a spirit circle is, what mediumship is, the healing that comes from being in a spirit circle. And these are probably my favorite thing to do. I do love one-on-one readings. I'll be doing one-on-one readings tomorrow as well here in Spokane. But I really love the spirit circles because it's a smaller group compared to like a large platform demonstration where you could have 30, 40 people. But to get to everybody in the audience is very quite challenging to do of a crowd that size. When I'm working with between 15 and 20 people, and that's what I call it, a small spirit circle, it's just that more personal touch of actually working with people and really trying to bring through their loved ones. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So I want to talk about what a mediumship demonstration is, if you've never been to one, kind of explain that to you. If you want to learn more about the work I'm doing in Seattle, you can just go to marclainhart.com, just internet search the Intuitive Prospector, see a little bit of my background, how I came to become a medium, something I didn't know that I would be doing, to be honest with you. And, just doing the work of spiritualism, doing the work of healing, meditations, metaphysics, doing radio, podcasts called Inspired Living Radio, just the whole what I call soul adventure. So hi, another top fan tuning in. Hi, Christine, how are you? Hi, Pat Sutter, how are you doing? Good evening to you. Hi, Jennifer. Have a great spirit circle. Brilliant concept. Thank you. A lot of times I don't take, a lot of stuff that I have is not my own, guys. It's something either my mentors have taught me, something I've learned in my studies as a British trained medium in England, or just my studies through the Spiritual National Union. So I never really want to take credit for the naming conventions. And if I do, I'll say that. Like Soul Adventures is mine. The Intuitive Prospector is mine. Spiritual Awesomeness is mine. But as far as tonight, I really like these evenings because it really is just very laid back. We're going to have a couple glasses of wine. We're going to have a s'mores board, so there's actually going to be s'mores where you can actually cook s'mores around the fire. and it's going to be set up in a circle around the fire, and it's going to be full of a lot of conversations, questions, laughters, tears, healing, connection, and again, what I refer to as spiritual awesomeness. It's always a hard place to be, because before these events, I start to kind of just get attuned, if you will. I start to what I call the quickening. I just, I've been doing a lot today, and just kind of letting the spirit world kind of, let them know that I'm open for business, I'm ready to work, and then when I show up in this circle, there really is no script. There is no planning. I explain that to the audience. I explain to them that I do need their assistance. I need to hear their voices, the yeses, the nos, the I'm not sure's, because that allows me to connect and make that connection between our seen world and our unseen world. And I guess this is a great example to demonstrate with the power of mediumship. Is a lot of us have interactions with the spirit world on a daily basis if we're aware to it and we're open to it. And I always describe the spirit world very much like the wind. So right now I'm live on Facebook Live, and if you're sharing out the page, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. You can also go and catch all my shows over on my YouTube channel, 4 Seasons of Inspired Living Radio, on all my podcasts, amazing topics and guests that we've had on. You can catch all my Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, and I will be broadcasting live Monday morning for Metaphysical Mocha Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, followed by the Healing Cafe right at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But let me go back to the wind, because when I'm doing either a one-on-one reading or a gallery, and this is a great example of how the unseen world, we don't see it with this eye, the unseen world, the etheric world. Some of you might call it heaven, some of you might call it hell, some of you might not believe in that at all. That's fine. It's just from my studies in metaphysics and my own meditations and my own blending with what is unseen. Enjoy Sammy Hagar. So that's my brother-in-law Scott, who's heading off to see Sammy Hagar here at the concert here at the casino, so I can't drive 55. But what I like to explain to people with what is unseen, and we see it here with the third eye, we feel it with our clairsentience, which is the ability to feel. It's our clairvoyance to see here, not here. We don't see them with our eyes. Well, I can't say not everybody, I don't. But the way that I equate working with the etheric world, the unseen world, those that are no longer here, is very much like the wind behind me. So we would all agree off my shoulder here, this lovely plant that's full of life and releasing oxygen. You see it swaying in the wind, and I'm not moving it, and it's just swaying in the wind. And we'd all agree that it is the wind moving the plant like that, but we don't actually see the wind with our physical eye, and we accept that, for what it is. And this spirit world is very much the same way, like wind. We can feel the effects of the spirit world on us. Sometimes it feels like just an overwhelm of warmth. I get cobwebs across my face, across my hair. It's like the spiritual touch. It feels like cobwebs. Your hair may actually stand up on your arm. These are all signs, symbols, synergy, and synchronistic events that I talk about. But the etheric world for me is very much like the wind in the fact that the wind moves this, but we don't see the wind. And if you're open to it, the spirit world works very much the same way. And it's just a reminder for those of you that have lost a loved one, like myself. I've lost a lot of people into the spirit world, but they're not gone. They're still very much alive. There is life after death, and they're interacting with us if we're open and aware to it. And I always just remind people that the spirit world and those that reside there are ever just a thought away. So tonight we're going to be enjoying some wine. We're going to have a s'mores board so you can cook s'mores. We're going to have a fire, and I'm going to be just going around the circle live, no script, no planning. It's literally like a spiritual box of chocolates, and going to give messages of healing, of hope, of inspiration, of evidence and accuracy. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I trust the spirit world that they'll deliver what needs to be delivered at that time for that person. So let me just give some shout outs to everybody. If you have a question, feel free to ask me. I'm going to be just on here for about 15 more minutes, and then we're going to be heading with the live event starting at 7 o'clock tonight, and we go for 2 hours, and I'm pretty exhausted afterwards, but it's a lot of fun. I love what I do. I love serving the spirit world. I love seeing the healing and the connection when it takes place. You cannot put a dollar sign on that. I don't care how rich you are, and it's pretty amazing just to be a part of that. The healing I get from it, the healing that those that are in the audience that get from it. So hey, I was going to say good morning. I'm so used to doing my Metaphysical Mocha Monday show that I forget that I'm doing just an inspirational quick Facebook Live on my Intuitive Prospector channel. So if you guys have not liked my page on Facebook here, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the badge notification when I go live, because then you get your top fan badge. And then you can also get to my YouTube channel from here. You can follow me over on Instagram under Intuitive Prospector, or Inspired For Us, which is the radio show. So let me just see what we got going on. I'm just going to do some guest requests too. You may come on live video with me. That's fine. Hi, Donna. Hey, Joanne, what's going on? Hey, Natalie. Hello from Belize. Oh, man, I wish I was down in Belize right now. Oh, my gosh, that sounds awesome. Hey, and Pat, you're up in Hickson, BC. I love that. Thanks, Mari. I appreciate that. Adriana, how are you? Another top fan. Again, you get your top fan badges. I wish I was there. Sounds awesome. Okay, yeah. And if you want me to come to your hometown, I'm happy to do that and do these small spirit circles or large spirit circles, however you want to call it. Yeah, it's a nice summer evening here. It's about 80 degrees, 83 degrees here in Spokane Valley, which is on the east side of Washington State. And we're going to be having a small spirit circle with about 15 to 20 spiritual prospectors in search of their own spiritual gold. So I always try to tell people if you've never been to a mediumship demonstration, you've never seen that. I didn't know what it was years ago until I started training after the loss of my brothers. And I started to wonder, is mediumship even real? And that set me out to prospect, and that's how I came up with the Intuitive Prospector. Start looking for answers to questions that I had, and I had a lot of them. And a lot of times when you are, in a mediumship demonstration, and if you've never seen one, I always just remind people to keep an open mind, try not to fixate just on one person that you'd like to hear from, or what I call your A-listers, because a lot of times if you show up with expectations, you're going to have disappointments. It's very different from what you see on television. I always remind people that television is edited process, and they do lots of takes, and you get a lot of the yeses, but you're not seeing a lot of the no's. And I find true mediumship, authentic mediumship, is some of the no's and what the medium does with that no to move forward. So again, if you want to work with me, if you're interested in any of the work that I do, whether it's my radio show, whether it's my articles, whether it's my inspirational weekly shows or my YouTube channel, just go to marclainhart.com, internet search the Intuitive Prospector. It's a one-stop shop. You can get live call-in readings with me from there. You can find me at Best American Psychics. You can find me at Bob Olson's Best Psychic Directory, the two professional directories I'm a part of, and also part of the Ariel Spiritual Community as a featured member, where you can actually now open up Alexa or your Echo Pods and ask to open up Positive Living and get spiritual daily tips from me. So it's kind of cool. You never know where the world's going to take you. I always say carpe diem, and so we're carpe diem them today. So hi, Andy McKnight. How are you? Jennifer says, humility. I appreciate your authenticity. Well, thank you. I try to be authentic, and sometimes you get attacked for being authentic. So it is what it is, but thank you for saying that, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Hi, Roxanne. How are you? Pat says, I love finding feathers and knowing my loved ones are around me. Yeah, finding feathers are very much a symbol of hope. In fact, my mom actually has a tattoo of a feather on her forearm from my older brother Todd, that had moved into the spirit world from brain cancer. So anytime you find a feather, something that connects to you, the spirit world has many different ways. And you got to remember, they don't have a voice anymore. So it's a vibration off vocal cords. So I become the voice for the voiceless in a way, but they find different ways to connect, whether that's songs, whether it's movies, whether it's books, whether it's poems, whether it's a body double, somebody that looks like the person that is no longer in the physical form. So if you're open to that, and these are some of the tips you can get right from my through Alexa or the Echo Pod, through Positive Living, definitely sign up for that. So it's just a good reminder. We all forget. So let me just say some hellos to, hi Valerie. So Roxanne, you're a milestone follower. I have no idea what a milestone follower is. That is brand new on Facebook. I have top fans for my page, but congratulations on being a milestone follower, Roxanne. Whatever that means, I'll have to look that up. That's something new. So I just love interacting with you guys. And Christine says, have a great evening. Everyone in your circle are blessed to have you there. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Adriana says, I've been seeing some shadows around my house. Could that be the loved ones communicating with me? This is from Adriana, one of my top fans. Yeah, very much so. In fact, I was just over at my niece's house. She got a new house, and I went over to bless it and just kind of get the feel for it. And they've been seeing some interactions out. You usually catch them out of the peripheral. So, Adriana, you've probably been seeing shadows, and you catch it out of the peripheral, and when you look, they're gone. A lot of times, this is the spirit ways of getting in contact with you, and it's nothing to be fearful of. A lot of times we go to fear because we don't understand something, and what we don't understand leads us to fear. But fear is a construct created by humans, because if there's real fear, it's fight, flight, or freeze if you're going to have real fear. So yeah, if you're seeing shadows, I always remind people, ask, believe, receive as a way that I do it tonight. Like I'm going to be asking, I'm going to believe and trust in the process, and then I'm going to receive that information. And I always remind people I'm either a hell of a good guesser, or there's really something to this metaphysically, energetically, vibrationally, frequency-wise. No different than if you thought about technology even 25 years ago, that I'd be talking to you through a little black box on a phone with people all around the world, even including Belize today. People would say, no way, that's not possible. So, you know, it's also about your mindset. And, you know, when you come to such an event like this, I always just, again, remind people to have that open mindset of being in a demonstration. Because I guarantee you, I'm going to have some skeptics in the audience. I'm going to have some people sitting in the audience like this with their arms crossed. Prove it to me, you know. And it's never about me. It's never about proving anything. It's about just feeling the love, feeling the healing, and allowing the intelligence of the spirit world to come through in whatever way that they're going to come through. But as far as I'm going to try to get to everybody in group tonight, and there's no guarantees because I work for the spirit world. They don't work for me, and I always have to remind people of that, because I do have people that show up and say, "Hey, I know my loved one will be here if you tell me this," and that's not how it works. So maybe in the future it does. Maybe it improves. Maybe my mediumship changes. Who knows? But as far as you know, attending this, I just ask for people for yeses, for no's, or I'm not sure's. Don't try to ask a lot of questions. Don't try to make things fit. Don't try to snatch things out of the air at random. And you see the spirit world interacting with me right now. Remember I talked about the wind? Hopefully it doesn't blow my tripod over. So, Adriana, I would just remind you that ask, believe, receive, and see what unfolds. And again, you're going to get an impression in your mind. You may hear a song. You may just feel something. You may just know something. We call that claircognizance, a sense of just knowing something. Mothers are really good at this. Mothers have this sense of just knowing that their children are up to no good, or in trouble, or in danger, and that's called claircognizance. So if you're just joining me, I'm talking tonight about spirit circles, mediumship, healing, celebrations of life, and more. And if you want to visit me at my site, marclainhart.com, or internet search the Intuitive Prospector, you can see all my education. I've been studying this for a while. You can see my background of why I even started doing this, and of course my YouTube channel and my shows, and it's just a lot of fun. So tonight we'll start at 7, and you know, we'll see what we get. So let me just, I hope that helps, Adrian. Did that help what you were saying? Andy's down in Reno, Nevada. Love it. Pat says, my brother often sends messages, and I love to hear from him. I would love if you were my middleman. Please feel free. I love how I get to be the middleman. Please share a message from my brother. So, Pat, what I'll do is I'll ask your brother to draw close to me, because I'm just meeting your brother for the first time. And it's very much the same way in life, in the fact that I don't know these people. I kind of turn myself on as a lighthouse, and the boats on the very vast ocean of the etheric world start to draw close to me. And if I get information, Pat, I will definitely pass it on and bring you live on video if I feel like we have a connection. Right now I don't have a connection. I'm just kind of talking about the spirit world and talking about spirit circles, but I'm always open to do that. And for those of you that watch my shows or interact with me, you know I give a lot of my time as a pro bono way, as paying it forward and giving back messages, whether they're live here on Facebook or on my Instagram. I've got my crossover show on Instagram. So make sure to follow me on Instagram too, and it's a great way. If you follow me on Instagram or get on my YouTube channels, I have hidden keys where you can claim as a prospector free discount codes to my classes online. This month I've been giving away 5 keys to the prospectors that find the discount code for a class that I taught called Spiritual ABCs Level 1. It's a great way to get free stuff, discounts on readings, advance notice on events coming up, especially in 2020. There's going to be some really cool events coming up. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to share, get your top fan badge, and interact with me on a weekly basis. So let me get a drink of water here, and then we'll do a little prospecting, and then I'll be getting ready for my event tonight, which is called Spirit with Spirits, a demonstration of mediumship or reunions of life after death. Some of you know it as mediumship. Other people know it as after-death communications. Some people that are watching would call it evil or demonic. I've been called everything, but it's not. It's just a representation of those that are no longer here, and trying to give the messages of healing and hope best you can. So I got a little golden retriever here. This is Remy, after Remington. So hopefully she doesn't knock the table over here. So she's about 4 months old, and she's just she's a love bug. So. She pops up, you'll see a dog. There's a dog here, so I don't usually have a dog. So, but Pat, let me just ask your brother to draw close, and if I get a connection, we'll move forward with that. And I usually bring people live on video. So Annie says, doing well. Thanks, Mark. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing much, much better, so thank you. So Annie says, looking for insight on my career. Hey, Raylene, how are you? my friend Raylene, great medium out there on the East Coast up in Maine. Check her out. She brings a lot of people over and does amazing events. So let me just kind of use the intuition real quick. Annie Lee, Speroni. Let me just see what I got. You know, I do have some decks with me tonight, so I'm going to actually just pull a card for you and just kind of see as far as your insight for your career. Intuitively, I'm just feeling like change up the game a little bit, change up the script, or what I say, flip script, and do something this next week after, because today's Saturday. Next week, just give it a go. Try something, do what I call a case study. Get in the lab, if you will, and try something you haven't done before, Annie. Kind of, you know, maybe the way that you think about things, the way you talk about things, and do something different with your career. If you've been looking at applying for something, maybe apply from a different perspective or a different website, or actually, if there's a place you want to work, I read a book back in the day for, this is for Annie, it's called What Color is Your Parachute? And this is for everybody that's looking for career advice. And what color is your parachute? I can't remember who it's by because I don't have it with me, obviously. It's just coming into my mind. It talks about some of the best jobs that you can land is actually not going online. It's literally going to the place of business and giving them your resume and say, I want to work here. Who can I talk to? Where's the manager? And showing that dedication and that drive. Mark Cuban calls it pounding the pavement. If you watch Shark Tank, it's about what you want, creating your desires, creating your reality, and going after what you want. So the card that I pulled for you today, Annie, is the Discovery card. And the discovery comes from the heart within, the heart chakra, connecting what the heart desires. So I'm going to challenge you to explore and discover through body, mind, and spirit, and see what unfolds for you, because again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. We change our reality when we do different things. We take leaps of faith. We don't worry about failure, because failure for me is first attempt in learning, and we do lots of failures, often fail big, and having no fear. False evidence appearing real. That's all of those for me. I don't buy into that. So try that out this week, Annie, and then come back next week on maybe my next show on Monday morning, Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, followed by the Healing Cafe, and see what unfolds for you. And you know, that's going to help you with your own career as well, the insight. I always remind people the journey comes from within, not what a psychic or medium tells you. We're only messengers. We get stuff wrong all the time, but we can, you know, give you roadsides along the many pathways of life, and it's up to you as free will and choice to choose which way you want to go. But the power does lie within, Annie. So thank you for your question. Thanks for being here. Hope to reconnect and prospect with you a little bit later. So Andy says, I see shadows in the corner of my eye constantly. I always feel like it's my mom. I'm looking terrible to hear from her. I'm looking terribly from her some way. So Andy McKnight, again, you catch it out of the corner of your eye. It's very common. Big gust of wind. Hold on. Big gust of wind coming in, almost knocked everything over. When we see it out of the corner of our eye, that's they're getting our attention, because they're a higher vibration, they're a faster vibration. And when you feel like it's your mom, I want you to talk to her. I want you to ask, I want you to believe, and I want you to receive the information that flows after you ask the question. Now, Andy McKnight, I do feel with your mom, there's a sense about makeup, like a makeup brush or a specific brush with a mirror that would have been connected to her somehow. Like you still have this makeup brush. I'm not very good with makeup, but as far as like you know, you put like not mascara, but like cover up, and there's a mirror or an antique set that would be a part of that. If that resonates with you, Andy, could you let me know, and we can bring you on and do a quick conversation. Like I said, I'm only going to just be on for just a few more minutes here, and then we'll go have an event at 7 o'clock. So Roxanne's, you're glowing tonight. It's the sun behind me, but I am glowing because I get really excited and I get really ramped up before I do a small spirit circle or any kind of public event. That's you know, anytime you step out in the public, it's, you know, for me, it's like, okay, here we go. Breathe. So, hey, Ursula, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I don't have any card numbers for you tonight. This is for Christine. I don't think I have any. I don't think I brought any number cards. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, I did. I lied. I lied. Bear with me. Bear with me. So, Jody, I'll have you just close that door real quick, if you don't mind. Okay, Sorry about that, guys. I was reaching in my bag because I'm getting ready to go to the event. So this is for Christine Manson, one of my top fans. I did have a number deck. So I'm going to just pull, and the card that I pulled just randomly out of the bag was Change, the number 5. The change energy of the 5 is all about being a freedom-loving adventurer and really kind of going back to that childlike behavior and doing something that's kind of crazy, zany, and fun. So that's going to be your message, Christine, for the number cards. So I have my adventure deck, my number cards, and a color deck. So, hey Elizabeth, how are you? What's going on? Hi Ursula. So let me go back to Andy. Andy, I've got the video turned on. So I've gone ahead and turned that on so I can have guests come on and ask me questions, or we can do a little spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual goal. But I have to say, with a mom connection, I'm really just drawn to the makeup with her. I'm really drawn to the makeup brush and a mirror. Like there would have been stuff like perfume or a makeup brush that would sit on a mirror on her counter when she was getting ready. I do feel with this woman as well that over time the disease or the cancer or the ailments started to take off, or she had to use a little bit more makeup, because this woman that is approaching to me, that is a mom, does make me feel like she's like, I don't need any more makeup. I'm as colorful and alive as these colors behind me, the pinks, the yellows, the oranges, the greens, and she doesn't need makeup. So Andy McKnight, if that is a connection for you directly, I'm happy to continue the conversation here. Just click the little people icon down below, and this actually split screens the video. But make sure if you guys come on video with me that you turn your volume down or put in a headset, because if all I hear is myself, I'm trying to hear the voice of spirit, and if all I hear is my echo or feedback, then it doesn't make for a very good connection or a good video for everybody that's watching, and we end up just turning it back off. So again, Andy McKnight, if that is a connection for your mom, and you can put no, it's okay if that does not make sense. We don't make things fit here in my mediumship. You know, my mentors would be very upset with me if I was on video and trying to make things fit. You know, because I'm a British trained medium, and I've been mentoring and doing this for some time now, and I really want to honor the spirit world, and I really want to honor those that have mentored me this far. So Elizabeth says, she's a follower. Elizabeth Sam says, you were right. I did have everything I needed for this past week. Not sure about this week. So let's just focus on the day, magic in the moment, carpe diem for what is needed today. Don't worry about tomorrow, because there's no guarantees for tomorrow. It's like the sun's coming through my hair. Isn't that kind of cool? I got my hair all spiky. So I'm going to kind of just move my chair just a little bit so the sun is not like totally in your guys' face here. So Pat Sutter, let me just again, I'm asking your brother to draw close. You know, it's interesting. I'm getting two names that come to mind, a Kyle and a John. Kyle John, or John Kyle, or Kyle or John. And I'm also feeling, as I ask this gentleman in the spirit world to draw close, I know that there is a connection here to snowmobiles or outdoor vehicles outside of nature. I do feel that this gentleman didn't get past his 60s. I do feel like he's been in the spirit world for some time. So Pat, if that is a connection for you, you can let me know by giving me likes or hearts or yeses or no's, so I understand, so I can, you know, again, just because I'm not making the connection always with the person that wants the connection, the spirit world never wastes a thought on me, so it might be resonating with somebody else, and if that's the case, please let me know. Hi Kimberly, how are you? Hi Misty, how are you? Raylene says, I know your event will be wonderful. Spirit blessings, my friend. You shine bright. Thank you, Raylene. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in and giving me that encouragement. And you know, I always get a little nervous before these events, which is warranted. It's the quickening, it's the attunement, it's the tuning in. Because again, guys, with mediumship, there is no planning, there is no scripting. And until I step on that stage tonight in this small spirit circle here in Spokane, Washington, it just unfolds. And it's as an analytical thinker, as a former you know, first responder, lifesaver, you know, logic thinking, it's very hard at times, not anymore, it used to be able to open myself up to what is unseen and let that information flow through me like a filter. And we'll have a lot of fun too. I guarantee there'll be healing and a lot of tears and laughters, and that's what life is all about, right? So if you have a question for me, or if you want to come on and join me live on video, I'm going to go 5 more minutes. So you have 5 more minutes to ask me a question, or I've got Pat that's wanting to connect to her brother, and also who was the other person? Andy McKnight. So with Andy, she was wanting to connect. She feels like it's her mom. She's wanting to hear from her in some way or another. I'm just drawn to makeup with your mom, Andy McKnight. Big brush, or even as a painter, if she was a painter or she worked with brushing, but I'm supposed to talk about the brush to the face, and she's letting me feel, she makes me feel, if this is a connection for you, and if you're still watching, I don't know if you're still on or if you're still watching, if this is a connection for you, I feel like the makeup is no longer needed because she's so healthy. She's just as vibrant as the sun behind me, and she makes me feel like she had to use makeup to cover some of the things during the end of her day. So I've got a mom here that would have been impacted by cancer, hysterectomy, cellular sickness going on, and having to use makeup. And there's a mirror. I'm seeing a mirror on a counter that you put perfume and makeup things on. Antique stuff is what I'm seeing. So if that makes sense, if you could let me know, and if not, then we will, we'll save it. We'll save it for another day. So Andy McKnight, it looks like we are making a connection with your mom. So would you like to come on, Andy McKnight, and have a conversation with me and do a little bit of live mediumship? If so, there is a button down below. It shows a little person icon, or it should say tap to come on, and I'll disconnect my microphone. So it'll be a little windy for you guys. I apologize because I have a windsock on. But this way I can actually talk to Andy. If you don't want to come on video, just say I don't want to come on video. That's fine. I don't have my business phone tonight to call. And we can do the yes or no's because it's kind of a smaller crowd tonight, so which I'm totally fine with. I like the smaller crowds. Hi, Colleen. How are you? Pat says, yes, his name is Ken, and he passes away at around 60. All right, so we're going to go with Andy first, and I'm going to bring Andy on. I'm going to prove her. Disconnect Andy to her mom. Hopefully, I'm going to be the best ambassador of spirit that I can, and talk about makeup. Talking about, hi, Andy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am fantastic. So you're missing your mom terribly, which is understandable. And you've been catching things out of the corner of your eyes, which, is usually the indication that the spirit world is around us daily, 24/7, 365. When you asked me that question, I asked Mom to draw close because I don't know your mom, right? I never met your mom in life. I'm meeting her in life after death. And she was talking about makeup. She was talking about the brush, and there's a mirror, like an antique mirror that you would put stuff on, like perfume, makeup, and it would sit on a counter. And my
mom was a model when she was young, and she was a debutante in the South. So
I love that.
When she started getting older, she was always worried about how awful she looked, and then when she started getting sick, it was even more.
Yeah, and I do feel with the sickness, because I do feel sickness with her, that she had to put more makeup on so people wouldn't know that she was as sick as she was. And she makes me feel, her description from the spirit world, if I may, Andy, is she describes me as these flowers. See the sun, how that sun kind of comes in? I'm moving my head, but see how that sun comes in?
Yeah.
That's her. That's the sun. That's the beauty of her. And it's the flowers and it's the color. She just wants to say, honey, I'm very radiant. I'm very alive. And I really want you to do the same. I really want you to be like the sun. I want you to live your life to the fullest. And I really want you to shine bright. Okay. I want you to shine, shine, shine. And I feel like that's something that she would have said to you in life as well, is to shine, shine, shine. And
100%.
yeah, that's her. That's the power of the spirit world. But again, I just kind of love how the sun, it's all set up timing-wise.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So the sun's coming in. I'm just moving my head. I didn't plan this. This is just the flowers and the sun. But would you actually still have some of her makeup brushes or a makeup bag for her as well?
Yeah, I have a lot of it.
I always just remind people, if this is for everybody watching as well. When you have items of people, we call it psychometry. You can hold the items that they once used and really connect with them that way as well. It's very, very powerful, very, very healing. And
I actually have a capsule of her ashes that I wear.
Yeah, see, and that's the beauty of it. And again, if you connect with those objects, whether it's a simple makeup brush, right? As simple as a makeup brush can really bring a lot of connection to your mom. But I just want to say thank you for coming on and sharing that. That's not always easy to do live on video. But she's just saying, she's saying, Andy, shine, shine.
That was our thing. We always watched sunsets together.
Yeah, well, she's right here, my friend. She's right there.
We go.
All right.
Thank you.
You have a great rest of your evening, all right, my dear?
You too.
All right. Take very good care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, so that was Andy connecting with her mom, wanting her to shine like the sun, be like the plants, and watch sunsets together. Pat, if you want to come on, let me try to connect to Ken. It wasn't Kyle, so I apologize. I'm getting the Kyle and the Ken wrong, but I am picking up a Ken, and I'm also picking up a John with connection to you, Pat. So you did say he passed around at 60. I don't feel like he got past 60, and I do feel he has a connection to nature through the love of ATVing or some sort of outdoor activity. So I'm going to approve Pat to come on, and then that'll probably finish this up. So Pat's coming on, adding her in just a second. Again, if it's really windy, I apologize because I had to unplug my microphone. And Pat, make sure to turn down your speakers or put a headset in because I don't have feedback. I can't hear them. I don't want to be hearing myself. Pretty please. All right. Hi, Esela, how are you? Hi, Nicole, how are you? Thanks for joining. We're doing just a quick live mediumship as I get ready to go live on stage here in about an hour and a half for Spirit with Spirits, which is, I like to say, reunions of life after death or after-death communications. Some call it mediumship. If you watch it on television, it's called mediumship. But it's a small spirit circle where I'm going to connect with everybody in attendance or spiritual prospectors in search of their own spiritual goal. Hi, Pat. How are you? Welcome.
Hi. I'm good.
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting the connection of Kyle wrong, but you said his name is Ken. Is that correct?
Yeah, my brother's name is Ken.
Okay, sorry about that. I got the K and the E, but I was saying Kyle. Now, where's a John connection for you as well? This can also be a person in the physical journey, in your physical life as well, because he's talking about John or Jonathan.
I have an uncle that's name is John.
Okay, and here in the physical world.
In the physical world, yeah.
Yeah. He's just wanted to say hi. I'm just getting it started off with Ken or it started off with Kyle, and I got that wrong, but it's Ken and John. And he's wanted to say hi to John. So that usually makes me feel as the medium that there was a connection or they would have had a relationship in the physical world before he passed.
Yeah, he's my mom's brother, and he's the only sibling left on my mom's side of the family. Yeah.
Yeah, so give him a big hug. You kind of get you get to kind of be the medium tonight as well. You get to be the messenger as well. So give him a big spiritual hug and just let him know that Ken is saying, "Hey, what's up?" And it's almost like a man hug. It's kind of like how guys hug and they kind of turn their bodies to the side. It's kind of that hug is what he makes me feel like. I do feel, and I know that you're missing him, very terribly, Pat. But would you understand the connection to the outdoor activities like ATVing, fishing, connection to nature, getting outdoors?
Ken spent a lot of time outdoors, but not ATVing and stuff like that. He never took any classes or anything, but he would buy old tractors and he would fix them up and retake them apart and re-put them together. But he would spend hours doing that and always outside because he never had a garage or anywhere to put them. So he always worked outside and in the cold, whether it was winter or whatever. And he could take a skidder tractor apart, put it back together and get it running, or he would buy tractors that didn't run and he would get them running. And that was what he did a lot of the time. Yep.
I love that. So I'm just, my interpretation is the medium, because we've never worked together. I don't know you. I don't know him. I'm just meeting everybody for the first time. So, when I see an ATV, I wouldn't have guessed a tractor, but I know that he was around vehicles like ATVs. And if it's a tractor or an ATV, that's fine. I'm not going to turn an ATV into a tractor. But his mannerisms of what he liked to do and be around those type of things and be outdoors was a big, important thing to him. And don't be surprised if you see just references to tractors, his way of coming through.
Yeah.
There's a country song that's coming up that talks about a tractor. I'm not very good with my country songs. So anybody watching there's a song about a tractor. I'm not sure who sings it. It's a country song. So we'll get somebody to probably put a message in here that lets me know but if you hear something about a tractor or you see a tractor, that's his way of coming through. And I also have to say, pay attention. I'm not sure where you're at are you in the United States?
No, I'm in Canada. Hickson.
You're in
Hickson,
Canada.
BC.
Okay. Hickson, BC. Okay, that's right. Hickson, BC. There's a reference to a bird specifically in your area. I don't want to say a blue jay and I don't want to say a red cardinal, but there's a specific bird. It's more dark and white in nature, and I feel like you'd see it like more on the coast, like kind of like a seagull, but it's not a seagull. It's not all white. It's black and white.
Okay.
And I'm not really good with birds, but he's talking about this, that you see this within your environment around your home, these black and white birds.
We see magpies a lot.
Magpies. Okay. So those are very similar to what I would see in England, because I know England has magpies.
Yeah.
But it's a bird that I normally don't see where I'm at in Seattle. So I know that the bird reference is different. That's why I was asking where you were at, because, again, it just depends on where you're at in the United States or Canada or around the world. We got somebody watching from Belize. But he's talking about when you see these magpies, this will be his way of coming through. And I feel like in the mornings when you're sitting out having a cup of coffee on the deck or looking out the window, that's when he'll interact with you and let you know that he's just a thought away. And pay attention to the tractor, or a song with a tractor, a country western song. It's a newer song, I believe, because I can see this guy on a tractor driving a tractor. But just know that I know there was a question about suffering. He did not suffer, so I want to make that very, very clear that there was no suffering involved. And his transition was very, very easy when he finally transitioned over. And I feel that your dad was waiting for him on the other side to help him transition, because he's saying, my dad was here to help me transition.
Okay,
so dad has to be,
he went
dad
very
has to be in
quick,
the spirit world.
and he didn't suffer. He was able to pass at home, and no suffering, like not like our mom. Yeah,
and he just wants to make that point clear. But he's also talking about dad is here, so I want to give you a hi from dad as well, because dad welcomed him home. Good is what he's saying. So your dad's coming through and saying hello. And again, just pay attention to the tractor, pay attention to the magpies, and thank you for coming on today and sharing his life, his essence, his mannerisms with all of us. And I just really appreciate it. And I hope you have a better rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Pat. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so we did 2 mediumship readings tonight, guys. Hi, let's see, Green. Okay, so thank you, Christine. Pat, if you're still watching, it's called Big Green Tractor by Jason Aldean. Big Green Tractor by Jason Aldean. Big Green Tractor by Jason Aldean. I'm saying that 3 times because that helps me retain. I don't know the song personally. I know who Jason Aldean is. I know it's a country western song. I could hear it playing in the background. So thank you for that, Christine. I really appreciate that. Hey, Susanna, how you doing? Hey, Susanna and Susan are both watching. Elizabeth saying day by day is all we have. That's right. And then my sister-in-law is watching at her house. So shout out to my sister-in-law, Jody Batten. So we're going to actually end because I have an event to go to. We're going to have some s'mores, we're going to have some wine, we're going to have some fire, and we're going to have a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness and healing. And again, the sun's behind me, just a reminder to shine. Let your light shine, guys, because life is short. It's no guarantees. It is it's that old adage. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. So with that, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a fantastic summer. I hope you're having, it's the end of the summer. I guess we have one more week, and then it's into Labor Day weekend here in the United States, and then that's kind of the official wrap-up of summer. But I hope that you're having a great summer. Pat, you're very welcome. I hope that you saw the message. Susanna's saying, hi, it looks beautiful. Yeah, it's really sunny and nice here, and we're going to do an outdoor event. So, Pat, this song is called Big Green Tractor by Jason Aldean. Pay attention to that, or look for tractors. That'll be Ken's way of coming through. Apologize, I got his name wrong. It's Ken, not Kyle. And then also make sure to give John, your uncle, a big spiritual hug from him, and also know that your dad, Pat, is there with him as well. So, thanks, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, and most importantly, let your light shine. Namaste.